Ladies and gentlemen, you are now live watching ID My Media, Radio and Television. I want to say the election that has just taken place has been very free, fair, and transparent. And I want to laud the campaigns for this democratic process, and that is what we're talking about. Uh, so stay put, and we're going to be talking about this election and how Secretary Chris has won the election in a free, fair, transparent manner. That's what we're talking about when it comes to um, democracy in making. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you're live watching ID Mind Media, Radio and Television, and I want to say it's been a very rough campaign week. Two debates that took place, and we saw the candidates went out and the campaign. It was very rigorous. It was a very rough campaign. We saw how different campaign teams were at loggerheads, hitting heads. So that's democracy. We are fighting for democracy. Anything you do during a revolution, during a struggle, is about democracy. And anybody that doesn't understand how democracy works will say, "Oh, that is a waste of time." You know, most of us are living in the diaspora, and I'll ask them to tell me one country that has not been through wars, that has not fought for their independence. Tell me one country that has not passed through tough times, and those tough times has shaped their democratic process in those countries. Today we see them having free, fair, and transparent election. We think it was just like that. It wasn't like that. They fought for it. I will tell you, most of the countries that have democracy today, if you read the history books, where, for example, in Europe, Mussolini, the dreaded dictator, was from Italy. Uh, Hitler, Hitler, the dreaded guy who exterminated all the Jews, he was from Germany. But people leave Africa and go to Europe and enjoy the life there. They don't know how the people in Italy fought against Mussolini, or the people of Germany fought against Hitler. So it's not smooth the way people think about. People see and say, "Oh, it's so smooth." It's not smooth. People always look at it and say, that Africa, or the democratic process in Africa is not working. It's not working. It's because the people don't trust in the system. When you build a system that is not trusted, it's very difficult for you to talk about democracy. Democracy is about building a system that can be trusted by the people, because of course democracy is for the people. But when you don't let the people understand what the process is, how do you want them to trust it? I want to thank the Restoration Council of the people of Ambazonian for really conducting a free, fair, and transparent election, because that is what makes a country. If you have a country that does not have a transparent system, it's very difficult for you to say you have you have a democratic system. And when you don't have a transparent system, it's very difficult for you to win the hearts and minds of the people. It's very, very difficult. You, it's just, it will be very difficult for you to win. You know, people can say whatever they want, but if your democracy is on the line, it taints anything that you do in that country, from your partnership, your international community relationship, or your any economic or business you want to do. No country will trust you. Even loans, international, the World Bank cannot loan you money if your democracy is not really, is not showing a good example. So I just want to say that the electoral process has been rigorous. Uh, this is what make people trust in the system when they see a change of governance. You know, when people change from one system to another. And I can say that from the very beginning, I was still out the Restoration Council for putting up an electoral committee, an electoral commission that is called ECA. ECA is the Ambazonian Restoration Council Electoral Committee that they form. And members of the ECA, of Election Commission of Ambazonia, it's called ECA, they are not members of Restoration Council. That is to tell you how transparent the Restoration Council wanted this election to be. So people will be still thinking, oh, the election is rigged, the election, the modalities are not good. But tell me, how many of the past presidents had the ECA conducted the election for them? Or how many of the past presidents were elected through the LGAs? No, none. Seseko did not go through any election from the LGA chairs and so on. No. Seseko, Sako, and Marianta, all three presidents were elected by the Restoration Council alone. There were no other parties in the election. But when Seseko left power, Sako came in through the Restoration Council. Sako then start questioning the validity of Restoration Council. After his term of office was about to end, they tell him, Mr. Sako, your term of office is 2 months to end. You have to go in for re-election. He totally refused and said he's not going for any election. He said the Restoration Council is a defunct body and he will not recognize any election coming from them. That is the same thing President Marianta is doing. I mean, she was voted in by the Restoration Council. There were no LGA chairs there. There were no LGA chairs in the voting process. But today she said that the election modality should you know, even though the Restoration Council has already made sure that all the RC, the members of RC and members of the chairpersons or the chairladies of LGAs are also going to be voting. So these are modalities that were just changed of recent. The past presidents never had the chairman of LGA voted for them. So I, I want to bring this because from the complaints that was received by the Restoration Council and ECA, it was stated that they are the ealry campaign had some concerns about the modalities of the election, and certain points were raised by the campaign of ealry. I'll just state some of them. The one that struck me was the fact that they said Secretary Chris is not eligible, is not viable to run because he has a court case. And the court case is the court case that the SACO team had to drag Secretary Chris to court with some other members of the interim government. So you understand what that means. But how can you eliminate somebody's candidature when a court case against him is a court case that concerns your own government? Secretary Chris is fighting for the ealry's government. That is why he was dragged to court. And now ealry came now and said he is not viable to run for office because he has a court case. How controversial this is, how ironic. Because you can say that somebody is having a court case when the court case involves fighting for Ambazonian and the government. You see, instead of you praising that person for standing strong for you and your government, you instead say the person should not run for office. So I'm bringing this up because this was one of the complaints that was brought up by the ealry campaign team. You know, they also brought another issue of paying of CID and so on and so forth. But I want to make Ambazonians understand the person that you can talk of, Secretary Chris, is a person that I work with in the communication department. I will tell you that he is a man that loves the struggle. He has not changed his stand. So no matter what people talk about that or this, I believe he will be a good president. Yes, he will be a good president because you see somebody who is dedicated to this to the cause. It's not about I love him or I don't love him. Or, no, this is about a person that you have worked with. I've worked with up front. I saw the love he has for the struggle. I saw it up front. So I'm testifying because I heard some people talking about, oh, he's not qualified. He will go and sell Ambazonian to this and that. Until if all these accusations, then people instead said that he plotted to kill his brother. How do you put this together? He just lost his brother. He's very, very loved brother that has been fighting for this struggle. FM the king. Secretary Chris, even the wife is now in very critical medical state. People don't know that, but people will start giving accusation of this. You know, we can say whatever we want, but when you see somebody who is dedicated to something, I think it's better to give him that chance. There are some issues that came up during the campaign. We heard people talking about Secretary Chris is fit to be a Secretary of State for communication. He's not fit. to be a president. He's good at. He should stay where he's good at. I'm like, what are you talking about? These guys are crazy. What? Who said that if somebody is good at communication, he's not good to be a president? I want to give you these examples. The president of Venezuela was a bus driver. The president of okay, let's take Ukraine. That was a comedian. He was an actor. So leadership is not about what you do. Even it doesn't work that way. Leadership is about how you can really handle situations, because the situations that come when the Ukrainian president won the election, he never knew that Russia would attack them, right? So, but see how he handled the situation at this time. That is how you see his leadership skills. It's not about whether he was a comedian, right? So, anybody that you have seen criticizing some other person, when you have not worked with that person up front, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So it's about how you can handle those situations and how you can make them work. Okay, so let's face fact. I know he's gonna do a good job. I am saying this with all conviction. The president-elect is gonna do a good job, and I know he's out for it, and he's gonna make Ambazonian proud. Yeah. I want to make this point that most people have been saying, but it's all about how they can handle situations. But look at his past achievements, his past work that has been doing. If Secretary Chris was not a good Secretary of Communication, he couldn't have been appointed by all the presidents. Excuse me. He was appointed by Seseko, he was appointed by Sako, and he was also appointed by ealry. He's the only president, he's the only Secretary of State that has served all three presidents. All. So if you want to see competence, it is always good for you to try and check on the person's capabilities, how effective that person can handle situations. Then if you want to know, he was the one that created SABC TV. Don't forget, he was the one that created ABC TV, and now he also created ABS TV. The success and achievement for this struggle has been the communication department, and Secretary Chris has led that department with all the successes I can say. There is no other department that has really won the heart and mind of Ambazonia than the Department of Communication, led by Secretary Chris, the anchorman. So, now that he has been elected president, he's the president-elect, I want Ambazonian to support him, because it's very difficult for you to stand somewhere and say this person is not doing anything when you are not supporting the person. You spend time on irrelevant stuff and all the conspiracy theories and all the different types of innuendos, and that doesn't move anything. So before you criticize somebody or you say somebody is not doing something, ask yourself first. That is what is good. I cannot criticize somebody when I have not asked myself those questions. What am I doing? Have I done this? I'm accusing this person of not doing this. Have I done it first? because you can say whatever you want. You can talk to somebody about something. You can say, but if you have not done it before, why do you accuse some other person for not doing it? Ask yourself, what have you done for your own country, Ambazonia? What have you done? So I'm bringing this because I want to highlight this important point and make sure that we understand that leadership is not about a person's character, personal traits, and all those. It's what he can deliver to the people. When you spend time on those irrelevant stuff, you lose sight of the real things. Yeah, you lose sight of the real things. That is what I see a lot of people doing. They spend time on irrelevant stuff and they lose sight of the real deal, what is going on. So I want to just laud the Restoration Council and the ECA for doing a good job. And I want to say I'll be coming live to analyze the campaign. So you're going to stay put, you're going to stay and stay tuned to the channel Idema Media, Radio and Television. Know that this is Fritz Misodi, the host. Thank you for watching, and don't forget we have more to give you for this election and